In May 1957, a small town of Haxham in England, 11-year-old Joanna Pollock and her younger sister, 6-year-old Jacqueline, were on their way to church with their friend Anthony. They were struck by an erratic driver. Almost instantly, the two sisters were killed. Anthony, just 9 years old, died while travelling to the hospital. It was later discovered that the driver, a local woman, who was under the influence of a number of drugs, had intentionally hit the 3 children after being forcibly separated from her own kids. The case later made headlines throughout Britain, with the woman eventually taken into psychiatric hospital. Following the death of Joanna and Jacqueline, the girls' parents, John and Florence Pollock, were devastated. But when Florence later fell pregnant, John became convinced that the 2 girls would be reborn into the family as twins. The couple, who were devout Catholics, often argued over the premise of reincarnation, with Florence strongly rejecting John's beliefs. It was later reported that the couple's entire marriage was even threatened as a result, with Florence almost filing for divorce. There was also no history of twins in either parent's family, and Florence's doctor had predicted a single birth, meaning the likelihood of twins was low. Against all odds, however, Florence gave birth to twin girls on October 4th, 1958. The twins were named Gillian and Jennifer. While the twins were identical, the pair had different birthmarks, which is considered highly unusual. Jennifer had a small birthmark on her left hip, which mimicked the birthmark that Jacqueline had. She also had a birthmark on her forehead, which was similar to the small scar that Jacqueline had in the same spot. When the twins were 3 months old, the family relocated to Whitley Bay, which is east of Haxham. As the girls got older, however, it became clear that Gillian and Jennifer seemed to remember Haxham in detail, despite not growing up in the small town. When the family returned to Haxham, when the girls were 4, the twins pointed out the name and landmarks that they hadn't seen before, such as the school Joanna and Jacqueline had attended, the Haxham Abbey, the playground their deceased sisters loved. The pair even seemed to know the way to the playground without ever seeing it. Likewise, the twins were also able to identify the late sisters' toys by name. Although Florence had stored the late girls' toys out of sight, the twins started to ask for certain toys back. In fact, it was almost as if the twins remembered the toys as their own. They were able to name their toys by their names previously given to them, and they were divided the toys up exactly as their sisters did. They had also referred to the fact that the toys came from Santa Claus, which was true. Florence and John also noted that the twins were very similar in personality when compared to their older sisters. While Joanna was very protective of her younger sister Jacqueline, Gillian seemed more mature than her twin sister. Gillian, who was born 10 minutes before Jennifer, also often looked after her twin, much like Joanna looked after Jacqueline. The parents noted that the twins even enjoyed the same games and foods as their siblings. The first few years of the twins' life, Florence continued to reject John's suggestion that the pair had been reincarnated. After finding the twins talking about the car accident, however, she changed her mind. On one occasion, Florence overheard the girls playing a game, and they reincited their sister's accident. Gillian was cradling Jennifer's head, telling her, "The blood's coming out of your eyes. That's where the car hit you." On another occasion, Gillian pointed to Jennifer's birthmark on the forehead and told her, "That's the mark Jennifer got when she fell in the bucket." Interestingly, the twin girls also appeared to have a fear of cars. In their younger years, the twins experienced recurring nightmares about being hit by a car. Gillian and Jennifer also regularly became frightened and anxious while near cars. When a car started its engine in an alleyway, John recalled the girls grabbing onto each other in terror and shouting, "The car is coming to get us." Shortly after, the twins turned 5. The memories of their past lives slowly began to fade away as they went on to live normal lives. While the twins lost their memories of the accident entirely, Gillian later recalled experiencing visions of herself playing in a sandpit at home in Wickenham. While Gillian had never been to Wickenham, they were able to perfectly describe the house and garden that matched the home that Joanna had once lived in her parents at 4 years of age. While the case of the Pollock twins has long been cited as proof of reincarnation, many people have argued that the twins' memory may have been influenced by their older 4 brothers. While John and Florence claim that they did not speak to the twins about their deceased sisters until they were older, it has been noted that the twins have learnt about their story from their brothers. The story of the Pollock sisters made its way to Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychologist who studied reincarnation. After studying thousands of reincarnation cases, Dr. Stevenson wrote a book telling of 14 he believed to have been real, including that of the Pollock sisters. Whether or not the actual occurrence of reincarnation exists has yet to be explained. Although this may have just been part of false hope of grieving parents, stories like this seem to lend a lot of credibility to the notion of reincarnation. The idea that a person starts a new life in a different body after death can be found all over the world. Buddhists in Tibet, Theosophists in Germany, Scientologists in America, Hindus in India, Sikhs in Canada all agree that rebirth is in fact of life. Ancient Greek philosophers like Socrates and Plato even believed it to be true. Demographic studies have a warrant to further pursuits of this subject. There are strange things in the world, and you just never know about some things. Hypnotic regression could lead to xenoglossia, and then a direct link to the remote past. Who knows? Research into this might help better explain certain idiomatic phobias or chronic obsessions to aid in the treatment of mental illnesses. It could certainly be offering new insight into the child prodigies. The concept of rebirth might even be useful to patients coping with identity crisis. There are countless reasons to be open to the possibility of metempsychosis. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for listening to the video and watching the videos and clicking the like button and commenting on what you like to see from the channel going forward. I've noticed a lot of people have been talking about subtitles and playing around with the sound effects along with the music and toning it down and making my voice a bit more clear, which I plan to do on future videos, and I really hope you've enjoyed this and I hope you enjoy more to come. Thanks for watching.